Okay, so I have found the canvas from just outside my studio door leaning up there. So we often bring it out here because there's lots of room, it's relatively clean. Maybe you're doing a 5-foot canvas. Exciting, but we're not. So you take this and you lay it on, and you don't want to waste it. You know, maybe you're working with somebody else who has a similar size. So this is raw canvas on the roll. You can buy that at your art supply store. It can come in different thicknesses. This maybe is a little thinner than I used to get. I don't know. Sometimes it tears. So we'll see how this goes, whether I end up cutting or doing the rip mode. But you want to leave enough space around all sides so that when this folds over, you're going to have room to staple here. So that is 4 of Phil's fingers is what I usually use. What is that? That is 3 inches. So yeah, you want something like 3 inches all the way around. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in a cut with the scissors. And scissors live in that sharp blade drawer by the sink. And this usually works for me, although sometimes recently it hasn't with this particular canvas. It's a bit annoying. But if you pull very evenly on both sides, this will cross the whole thing in a straight line. Now I can do this on the other side. So I've got 4 fingers, 4 fingers, 4 fingers, and I'm going to just start it here. Like that. And again, pull very evenly on both sides. Please don't go sideways. Voila, perfect canvas. Hopefully this fits for someone else. Or we can keep those, roll up the rest of this, and put it back outside my studio. So I have my canvas nicely to size. Here is the stretcher that I built last week. Look at that. It's got a nice beveled edge. It's got corner braces. Everything is screwed in there with a countersink. So this is going to sit on here, bevel side down. Right? Bevel to be up against the canvas there. Is this the wrong piece of canvas? Oh, it's the wrong one. 4, 4, 4, 4. Nice. Okay. Staple gun. You start. Just pick a side. I would pick probably halfway down the longest side. Doesn't really matter. This one's almost square. But yeah, this side's a bit longer. So pick your longest side and put a staple in the middle. Long side, one in the middle. Now I'm going to put 2 more. I'm pulling toward you, but also toward the edge. So I'm pulling both ways. I'm pulling that and that. I'm not pulling hard this way because there's no staple here to pull against, so this will become more important as we go. At this point, I'm just trying to keep this line straight. So I have the edge of the wood, I have the edge of the canvas. At this point, I'm just trying to keep that nice and straight. Sometimes those first ones are a little funny pressure-wise when you're done. Sometimes you end up pulling them out again and redoing those first ones. But now I'm going to pull on this. So I'm straight across from there. I'm in the middle of my other longest side. And I'm really going to crank on it. So I'm pulling pretty hard. I can see the canvas reacting. So yeah, I'm going to pull pretty hard. One. Again, I'm pulling against those staples, but also sideways. And I'm trying to keep this nice and straight parallel to the wood. Voila. So that's good. Now I'm going to turn this. See these wrinkles in here? This is good. It sets up wrinkles between the three staples. That's going to give me a bit of a clue on how hard to pull here. So now I'm in the middle of my short side, and I could really pull too hard on this, and then have a bit of a problem over there. So I'm just going to let that relax again. You can see that there are 3 wrinkles here from the 3 staples, and I'm going to pull to the point where the 3rd wrinkle is still kind of there. One, 2, but pulling to the side as well. And 3, pulling the other way. So now it's really starting to feel better. It's starting to feel like it's sticking. Now I actually have something to pull against. So all those things are already in. So. Some people find the staple gun a bit hard to squeeze or whatever. So we do have some smaller ones, the ones that are easier to squeeze. Sometimes you work with a partner. One person can hold while the other person staples. Okay, so now I have 3 on each side. So now I go back to where I started. But I'm not going to do a whole run. I'm going to do just, well, this isn't that big a canvas. I might, yeah, I'll do 2. Bigger canvas might be more. I mean, I could even just do 1 really. So I want to keep it nice and even. So I'm pulling hard. I'm not pulling so much that it weaves beyond. I'm trying to keep this a straight line. So I'm going to pull out. Now, I have amazing thumbs. I always like doing it by hand, but some people find that hard, so this is called canvas pliers. So I can grab the canvas, lock this into the edge, and pull with this, and then hold it there. And then you can see even how that's holding the canvas maybe even up a little bit. I'm going to put this, and I still am going out, but also to the right. I can do a bit of a twist with my wrist, and then drop this in. So some people find that easier. Now, I want you to think about whether your canvas is going to be landscape format, portrait format, horizontal or vertical, because it's not critical, but for me, that changes how I want the corners to fold. Because I like the sides of the painting, the gallery, to be clean and have the folds on the top and bottom. So if I was doing vertical, I would do these staples all the way to the end here eventually, and then show you how to do the corner. If it's horizontal, then I would do these ones all the way to the end, and then show you how to do the corner. So yeah, think about that. It's not important. Sometimes you're painting something, and then it changes direction halfway through painting it. You're not going to change it. But it's just a little finesse thing that I like to think about. So. And Nice. Okay, so you want to be able to really feel that tension. Actually, this is kind of fun. You can really feel the tension here, and as I go to the corner, I can feel it dive off there because I haven't done the corners yet. So you should really feel that difference between where it's tight and where it's not. So this one here, I'm going to go right in at the edge. So I'm holding this right to the end there. And then I'm going to keep going. Do the other ones. Pull and out and right to the end. Fabulous. Okay, now we are ready to do some corners. So this is done all the way to here. I am going to make a beautiful hospital corner. So I want this to be clean as possible. So I'm going to pull this until this gets to a nice 45-degree angle. And this looks horizontal. There we go, that looks good. And I'm just going to throw a staple in there to hold it there. Okay, now I sort of flatten this out. So you can see I'm getting a nice flat triangle in here. So I now bring this up like this. And then sort of finesse this, gradually pulling more of the part that's tucked out behind until that matches. Oh, so pretty. And then pull, 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 pull as hard as you can. And flatten that down. Okay, so that looks good. Now I can just finish this up by pulling really hard. That is a nice looking corner. Yep, so we do that 4 times. Look at that. Smooth sides, folds on top, lines up clean. There's not a ton hanging on the back. Actually, it's really annoying. Some people just take too much. It's actually harder to pull. And then it's also harder to hang because you have all this extra fabric. So I've got a little tight here, but basically the 4 fingers works pretty well. Next step is priming.